Hey everybody, I'm Alicia from Music Blog, and I'm pleased to be sitting here with Van from Catfish and the Bottlemen. How you doing today?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. Just witnessed an amazing set from you guys. Having a good time in Toronto?
Beth, this is probably one of my favourite places because it's cold. Like it reminds me of home. Do you know Greg's? Do you know what Greg's is over here? Like a pasty place. We're a Greg's pasty away from being home, basically. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
So how's North America been treating you so far?
Good. Like everything, like overwhelming, really. It's weird because like in England, like when you can kind of like hear how much radio play you're getting and kind of see how excited people are or how like unexcited people are, and you can kind of judge where you're at. You know what I mean? Whereas over here, because we don't hear anything of over here really, except for like when people tweet us, we're normally like that's normally when we're on stage in England. You know what I mean? So we don't get to see it as much. But like now we're over here, like it's just crazy. Like people are well excited, people are singing the songs, like, and it's going quicker than it did when we first started like gigging in England really. So it's exciting for us because like now England well, all over the UK, everyone's got right behind us, and there's a lot of people who've invested in us and care about us, you know what I mean? So it's like we've just moved up to like 2,000, 3,000 rooms, whereas here it's like being 16 again, like playing to like, you know, like 50 to 100 people. It's just funny, man. It's really exciting, and we've missed bumping into each other on stage because the stages are small and like, you know, all that kind of thing, all just the excitement of like having to win a new crowd over and play in a place you've never been before, and you know, it's just fun, man. It's really exciting, yeah.
Well, for the debut not being released here yet and not ever playing Toronto, I'd say the crowd perceived it pretty great tonight, knowing all the words, screaming along.
It was crazy. I was thinking, you know, somebody's leaking some albums down here. Everyone's got the album anyway. There's no point in us releasing it. I don't mind as long as people. Yeah, man. I'd strongly advise you to go buy it, as you know. My dad wants a jet ski, but you know, as long as people know the songs, man. As long as people sing them, I'm not fussed. But like, for me, it's just like I wrote those songs, say like in an apartment in Edinburgh, or like, you know, at my house when I was 16, and they've been enough to fly us across the country to play in America and like Canada, and like we're lucky enough to have people singing the tunes, man. So it's like just exciting, you know.
Congrats on it. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, man. Overwhelmed to be here.
Well, as I mentioned, you just released The Balcony in the UK, so off the record, which songs are your favourite to play so far?
Off the record, as in off the record?
Off of the album.
Off the album, it's Cocoon's my favourite song that I've written because I think it says exactly what I want it to do. Like I wrote it on a balcony in New York, which is kind of where I got the name for the album from, and I just wanted a song that kind of felt like it filled the view I was looking on, like an enormity and kind of a euphoric feeling to it. And I wanted a song that kind of made people who are working shit jobs and like people who are getting told they can't be somebody to feel like, you know, like fuck that, I can be whatever I want, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to write a tune that did that, and I feel like it did that. And to me, it just feels big when we play it. I love playing it. Everyone seems to like singing it and like, you know, singing it back to us, and I love it. But Hourglass is probably that, and Hourglass, because I tried all like. I wrote and wrote when I was a kid, like loads and loads of tunes, and I could never write a slow song. Like one night I was just playing that song, and it started out like quite a heavy tune, but then I started playing it acoustic in the studio when we were recording the album, and I was like, it was about 4 a.m, and we were about to go to bed, and I was just sat there with Jim, the producer, and he was just having like a glass of wine before we went to bed, and he was just like, "What's that tune you're playing?" And I was like, "It's just this song I've got," and he goes like, "Just, you know, come with me now, just stay as you are, don't wake up, just go as you are." And I went into the room and like recorded it like half asleep, and come back in the morning and listen to it, and I was like, fuck, it sounds like it just sounded, you know, like it sounded real. And like at the start of it you can hear me kind of go like because I was like so tired, and it's kind of like it's just I think it's the realest moment. It's a moment like right in the middle of the album when you listen to the album. The whole album's kind of racy, and then it gets that bit and it kind of takes you off for a minute and then brings you back into it. I love it. That one and Cocoon are my favourites. Yeah.
Well, something I wanted to bring up is your artwork. It's pretty unique. I mean, for the debut EP, you have the sperm on the back, right? And then this new record, you have the characters carried on the front cover. So just tell me a little bit about The Balcony's album cover.
The album cover for The Balcony, that was our... It's drawn by a guy in New York called Tim Lahan, and like that was our first ever cover when we were 15, because we'd been a band like for years before people knew who we were, and that was our first ever EP cover when we were 15, and we thought... I didn't want fans to feel like, oh, they're forgetting about us and all that kind of thing, because people get like that, you know what I mean? And so we thought it'd be a nice thing to do was have as soon as we released that when we were 15, we're like, if we ever do an album, we'll put this as our album cover again to say thank you to everyone who stuck with us. And the last song on the album, Tyrants, is we didn't really think it should have been on the album, because I wrote that when I was 14, I think, or 15, and like But we put it on to say thank you to everyone who's been with us since the start, you know what I mean? So that's where that come from. And the sperm thing, that's because I've not actually seen this yet. That's because I'm the test tube baby. So the label wanted something to represent the start of something, you know, like a match being lit or something like that. And I was just thinking about things that related to us. And I was a test tube baby. Like, my mum got run over when she was a kid, couldn't have kids the right way, and like, after two attempts of trying, putting all their money into it, they worked 2 jobs, my mum and dad. They're about to give up on the third because it was killing them, and doctors were like, you're never going to have a kid, and they never gave up and kept going, and the next minute I popped out. Like, go on, mum, nice one. Yeah, and then I got this, like, my dad gave me that when I was 18. He gave it to my mum when she had me to say thank you. They broke it, and then I get his to give to my wife, and then they give it to my baby. All that stuff, you know. Yeah, my dad's a romantic, man, he's very romantic.
Well, I noticed that all of the titles on the balcony are one word, right? So was that intentional for you guys?
Yeah, it was. Like, it was unintentional the way it happened. Like, when we used to write our set list out, we'd always do them last minute, so it's like in a hurry. So instead of calling them anything, it was just like quick. And then, we just thought it looked good. I thought it looked good when it, and it's listed up like that. I don't know, it wasn't really anything. Yeah, thank you very much. But yeah, I like it when songs are called things like that. I like it when songs are called girls' names. There's a song called Jennifer by Little Comets. Have you heard that band?
Yes.
It's a good song.
Them.
Have you?
Yep, multiple times. They're great.
Little Comets are the boys. They're Geordies. They're weird. They're very weird, but they're legends, mate. They pretty much what's the word? Kind of, nurtured us. Like, taught us everything we know, man. Like, they took us on tour last year, and they taught us so much about the band and being loyal to yourselves and making sure that you don't do things that you don't want to do just to get somewhere, you know what I mean? And they're the epitome of that, you know what I mean? They're fucking diamonds, those boys.
Well, when you came to Toronto, you of course brought the infamous drum skin with you guys, and there's been a lot of talk about this, and you mentioned on stage how you actually had a meal with him.
Yeah, breakfast.
And he took you shopping, so what was that experience like for you?
Class. Yeah, it was unreal. Like, when we walked into like a cafe, it was like this, like in New York, and I was kind of like, we're meeting somebody, and she was like, what's the name? And I was like, Ewan McGregor. And he was like, yeah, he's already in, he's in the corner. And he kind of like turned over his seat like that and kind of like, like went like that. And it was like, have you ever seen it in films where like people fall in love and they kind of like, yeah, and they don't walk across the room, they kind of just come together. You know what I mean? It was like that, but it was so sound, man. And he was the most interested person and interesting person I've ever met. Like, he was so interested in what we had to do and what we were about, and like learning about the band. And he was so interesting when he was telling us stories about, like, parties he went to like back in the day, and like, he's just a legend, man. And then his daughter came to the gig, and she was one of the nicest girls I've ever met. And it was really funny because we had to sneak her into a club in New York because she's 18. We had to sneak her into a club. He was like, can you look after her and like make sure she gets in there? I don't know if I can say this. You're going to get arrested for this. I don't know what the deal is over here. Yeah, but we had to sneak her into a club because in England you can drink when you're 21, can't you? But over here, 18, but over here it's 21. So we snuck her into this club, and then we didn't have our passports, and like I've just turned 22, and they wouldn't let us in. So we got her in the club, and you
guys were stuck outside.
Old enough, and I'm old enough, and I didn't get in. So it was like, the irony in that. So thanks, Ewan.
Someone wanted to ask, can we see more lightsabers volunteer? Because there's one shot of you guys with one.
Me and Ewan. Some fan did that. Someone sent it saying Obi-Wan Kenobi because my name's Van, and like, yeah, it's I'll do anything. That man like is when they say don't meet your whoever's made that thing, don't ever meet your heroes.
They're wrong.
Couldn't have been talking more shit in my eyes. He's a legend, man. I've never met a man as cool as him. He's just dead nice, you know what I mean? And like, he wishes the band all the best. He wants to come see us and that, like, and he's doing some big show in New York, and he's the man, isn't he? He's the best. He's a god.
After, covering you guys multiple times in many different cities, across the pond, here, everywhere, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today. It was such...
Thank you. You've looked after us.
Finally meeting you.
You've been with us since the start. So
yeah.
I can't thank you enough for that. I'm overwhelmed to be here, and I'm overwhelmed with your support. And, it's nice to have this kind of, like, that crowd in there. It's nice to have people who, really give a shit, and, like, because we've been at it for ages, and we've fucking been through some bad times, like, with no money and, like, nothing. And, like, to come here and, like, enjoy it like this, it's amazing, man. Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
Well, I just want to say thank you once again, and thanks everyone at home for watching our interview with Fan from Catfish and the Bottlemen.